Hey guys, this is Darren Murray. Welcome back to Bloody Elbow. Today we're joined by a true legend of mixed martial arts, Bas El Guapo Rutten. He's a former UFC heavyweight champion, a three-time king of Pancrase, and one of the most colourful personalities in combat sports history. Bas retired on an incredible 22-fight unbeaten streak, knocking out people with his famous liver kicks and submitting some of the legends of the sports. Bas is back in the spotlight with the release of his movie, The Smashing Machine, where he stars alongside Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Bas, welcome to the show. How you keeping?
I'm doing great, my friend. How you doing, Darren? Been a while.
All right, I'm doing good. Been a
Yeah.
while. Been grinding away. I missed those days of sitting down in a hotel lobby and you and Hafthor are just doing pads and you're training them with the legendary Bas Rutten self-defense.
Yeah. He was a funny guy. Jesus, strong man, right? But when he picked
Very strong.
Layla up at the time, I asked him when he just picked her up and he did like this. I go like, wow, that seemed very easy. He goes, I said, what do you do? What do you neck press? He goes, 400 pounds. I got a 400-pound neck press.
I believe he just broke the world record again. Last week or 2 weeks ago.
I saw it. It's incredible. And then if you look at his family, did you ever see the picture with his dad and his brother? They're the same. They're all like as high as he is, tall as he is. Well, he has his dad, I should say that. It's crazy.
Perfect. And I guess I for this, Bas, because obviously I know you very well. I know your history very well in your career. But I just want to start from the beginning of your early career. You were known as a pure striker in the early days. You took a couple of submission losses in Pancrase, but then you made huge transformations in your career and ended up finishing with more submissions wins than knockouts. What was the change in your training, and like how did you kind of reinvent yourself there in the ring?
Well, I'm just a sore loser, then so I found out after 3 times losing by submission, I didn't want to be like that guy that wins a title and then loses by submission, loses his title. I go like, it's part of the freaking game. I need to find a person I can train with. So by then I was pretty much hitting the bag twice a day, 12 rounds on the bag. That was my workout almost for the first year to compete in Pancrase. Had no ground. So sometimes I would go to Amsterdam. But then I found one guy, Leon van Dijk. And we started going, crazy. I suddenly became obsessed with it. Before I thought like everybody else, it's weakness on the ground, and then I realized the power. Think about it, if you're able to dislocate or break any bone, and you can dislocate any joint in the body or break any bone in the body, that's a big freaking power to have. And then I start seeing all the combinations that, just like in striking, I said, wait a minute. If I sit mount and I go for an armbar, well, he knows that setup. What if I create a different setup that he doesn't know yet? I can surprise him with it, maybe only once, but once is enough to win a fight. And suddenly it started, and I started doing it all day long. All day long. Like I always tell, I submitted my wife in the middle of the night like 5 times, and I would wake her up because I would dream a submission, put her in there. But if you fall in love with something and you do it a lot, you get good at it, and that was it. And then one day, I was training also with the guys from America, and I always thought my level was here, and they were there. And once I started rolling with everybody, I realized I was way better than I thought I was. And that's when I came home and I said, okay, you know what? I think I can be a champion in this. Because before I go like, oh my God, it's very hard to attain. But that really gave me a confidence boost because I realized, shit, I'm tapping these guys. I never expected that. And that was it. Suddenly I was off to the wall. And then I started liking it more. And the best thing is, look at the submissions. Because you say, okay, there's 15 submissions, but there's like 42, right? If you really think about it, because there was Pancrase rules. And every submission, I might have not pulled off an Gogo Palada and maybe 4 submissions I don't, but you name it. And I pulled it off, all the different ones. And I'm very proud of that. So it's not a one-trick pony. I just do guillotine chokes, triangle chokes, and an armbar. No, I pretty much did everything. And I really enjoy that I got to that level.
It's crazy. It really, really is cool. And it's awesome to see it as well. Just like rewatching those videos and seeing how it matches up now against this new generation, right? It's like, it's super cool to see. They're like a really pioneer of that era,
They should, and then I think they should bring it back with the same rules. And I'm telling you why, because a lot of people say, but that's not real fighting. Whoa, hold back. If 6 or 7 guys from Pancrase, that small organization, became UFC champions, that should tell you something. And I guarantee you it is because of the ring time. So, for instance, I fought a guy, I knocked him out in 43 seconds. It was my very first fight. Second time I'm fighting, I break my hand, like this thing. First punch, I break my hand. But I submitted him 5 times. But it was a 27-minute fight. So now I had one fight, but I had 5 submissions. So what happens, normally they restart the fight, or the fight is over. That's it. You go home. Now you restart the fight. This is fight number 2. You got more ring time. You get more comfortable, and now you're going to be more strategical. Because if I am close to submitting you, I better make sure you're not close to the ropes. Because if you can touch him, I'm going to have to let go. He's going to get it's the same as getting an 8 count for him. He's going to lose a point. But you see, so the strategy becomes different. You want to drag him to the center of the ring. Or once you're in the center of the ring and you miss the submission and he is in the dominant position, you see, you have to think about all these things. And then I started thinking, I go that is why all these guys in Pancrase who went to the UFC, they all became champions. And it's because of that, the spending more ring time and fight time.
Yeah, getting that fight knowledge and experience in there quickly with less matchups needed.
Yeah.
So I guess I want to bring you back to some rivalries. You've had rivalries with guys like Ken Shamrock and Frank Shamrock, really defining matchups of the era. Which rivalry or rematch gave you the most personal satisfaction in terms of growth as a fighter or just in general?
The Funaki match. The Funaki match, Funaki was such a nice guy, and it was so out of character. Like before the fight, he comes to me, the first fight, and he slits. The first fight, he beats me with a toe hold. Listen, I didn't even know what a toe hold was. I knew it hurt, but that was it. I had never heard of the thing. And then I had the rematch, and now I was a different fighter because now I had all that submission experience. And then he made the mistake of coming to me before the fight, and he stands right in front of me here, and he does this to me, like he slits his throat. And I remember looking at my manager, I go, "Oh, dude, I'm going to kill this guy now." And he goes, "Yeah, but you got to stay calm." I said, "Don't worry, I'll stay calm." I said, "But watch. Once I go, I'm going to freaking go." And man, it was a crazy fight. For him, it was the best fight, they say, because he got up 5 times. I broke both cheekbones. His nose was broke. My knees were black and blue from hitting him, from kneeing him in the freaking head. My arms had bruises on my palms. And every time he got back up, and then the last time I go like, dude, the guy doesn't stay down, because he put me down and the whole audience started, Funaki. And then he got up again.
Rocky.
I was getting tired now. And then I grabbed him by the hair, which was legal, and I grabbed him just really hard and I drilled my knee in his face as hard as I could. And that was it. The fight was over. But yeah, I remember because they raised my hand, and then right after they raised my hand, I fell backwards. I was exhausted because everything I had, I emptied on his head. It was crazy.
That's crazy. It's like a scene out of Rocky, the way you're describing it. Just
it was
never
really,
giving up.
Yeah, because that's why they said with him also was his best fight. Because I don't know what happened. It's like DeLucia. When I fought DeLucia the third time, I dropped him with 3 or 4 body shots. And I know how hard it is to come back to get an 8 count, come back from a body shot and get hit again and get hit again. And then he got 3 times up. I go like, dude, trust me, you're a very tough guy if you can do that. And then the last one, I actually thought I missed him. But what happened was, in the slow motion, you can see he's breathing in. Once you breathe in and you hit somebody in the gut, that's it. You can do 5,000 sit-ups. I always say this a day. It doesn't matter. If you breathe in, you're not flexing, that's it. You're out. And you see my hand in slow motion rip through all his body. And that was the one that also broke his liver. I snapped his liver. He started peeing blood, so I had to go to the hospital. But I thought first I missed him because I had no resistance. But then I saw later on, I slid through the whole body. That was, and that was, yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy. Then he got up 3 times. 1 body shot, 2 body shots, and a liver kick. And then the 4th time he dropped. I go, dude, yeah, different guy. Can say whatever you want, but he was very tough. Let me tell you that.
Let's bring it to your UFC days. Obviously you had a UFC fight with Kevin Randleman in 1999. It went to a close split decision. Looking back now, do you feel like the judges got it right, or how would you feel like it would score now under, let's say, UFC's current criteria and rules?
Okay, so this is my talk, and I think it makes sense. If you split it up in 7 rounds of 3 minutes, because it was a 21-minute fight, right? That's what they did. They did 5 minutes, 3-minute overtime, 3-minute overtime. So let's make 21 minutes. Let's divide it by 7. So 7 rounds of 3 minutes. He won the first 1.5 round, and I won the rest. At the end, after the liver kick, he didn't throw almost anything anymore. And it was me who was working from the bottom with the elbows. He got cuts. He needed to go to the hospital later, get stitches everywhere. So I think I was the guy working from the bottom. And that's what gave me the fight. But if you look at my face, the first 4 minutes, man, he beat the crap out of me. My nose was broke. Oh, it was flat on my face. My eye was filled with blood, and my other eye, I lost my contact lens, so I couldn't see. I got -5.5. It was a bad eye. I was swallowing blood the whole time, my own blood. I tried to throw that up in the corner every time with my fingers in my throat because it made me nauseous, during the fight. But yeah, if I look at it like this, I said 5.5 rounds worth for me, the last 5.5. Sure, he had me on the ground, but he didn't do anything with it. He was just holding me down. And then, in my eyes, it was good. And for me, it doesn't matter, man. We became friends. Even if he would have won, it was just a great fight. I just love the guy. So,
yeah, the respect after the fight is the main thing.
I think it's everything. I think, and especially in fighting, I think the respect fighters have among each other is unlike any other sport. And I always say, I think I only need to buy a flight ticket, and I can go pretty much anywhere in the world. I don't have to. I call somebody, can I stay with you? And I can stay with them. And why? Because I would do it for them. So and that's just how that group is. We're so close. People don't see that. They see we're talking against each other. 90%, that's all fake. The guys, it's very rare that it's real. The guys really don't like each other. And then after the fight, well, they always make up. It's like, okay, now we know who's the alpha male on this day, you should say, right? Because it's always, we have good and bad days, and one time when the other guy wins and the other guy for the other one. So, I think the camaraderie among fighters is unlike any other sport because we go through a lot of crap, man. I've been just talking about it. Every time you're injured, you're not the happiest person at home anymore. Sometimes I just move out of the house for the last 2 weeks because I'm so injured, and you have to work around those injuries. You get annoyed super fast. You still have to do all the same food. You have to watch out what you do. But there's more than you think. It's not like we're drinking beer, eating pizza, and we're fighting, There's a lot of things that come by. Oh, I got a party. Sorry, can't come. And especially a guy like me, because I know I will drink a beer. And if I drink one beer, chances 2, 3, 4, it's going to be more. Take it. If 1 is good, 5 is better. That's my personality. And if I have that, it's great in training because I can always do more than other people. But it's really bad when I go to the vices. So that works out.
Just based on that, I have 2 things that instantly came into my mind, and one of them is related to respect and just current events. I don't know if you saw that Diego Lopez versus John Silva fight, but there was a little bit of back and forth after the fight where Diego Lopez went up and then John punched him in the back of the head, and there's a couple of cheer shenanigans and whatnot. Did you see any of that?
I haven't seen it.
It's great. You need to check it out. It was great, crazy spinning elbow from Diego Lopez. Got that one finished. Very, very good fight. And then just related to the bear situation and being Irish myself, and you know how we are. I know how you folks do it as well. But there's a story back in the day about you in a bar and a bouncer and craziness and shenanigans. Can you tell me that story?
Yeah, it depends which one it is. I mean, it's probably the sweetest. Yeah, because the biggest one, and it was the last time I actually fought in my life. I think it was in '98, and that was in Sweden. It was the 5 bouncers, and that's the story I told on Joe Rogan. Also, they actually made a little cartoon out of it, which was pretty accurate, I should say. Just annoying guys, known for being bad people. I was I had a lot of fans in Sweden after that, because a lot of people have been put in jail after those bouncers said that they did certain things, and they were just out for it, and they were known for that. They called them the mafia bouncers. It was Yugoslavia map, I heard, or something, and they were just looking for trouble, and I'm just apologizing because they pushed me away. They said I was bothering a customer. Which one? And I point at the guy at the bar. I go, he's buying a drink for me right now. How can I bother the guy if he's buying a drink for me? Yeah, you have to come with us. Okay, so I went with them, and then now we're in this fire escape, big marble stairs going down. They locked the doors behind me. The door was closed behind me. It was 2 guys first, and then the little guy was a little guy and a big tall guy. he started poking me on my chest. I say, listen, I don't want trouble. I want to go. I want to leave. If you can tell my buddy here, he's from Holland. He came with me. He's a bald guy. If you can tell him I'm outside, I'm good. And he says, you don't understand. So I said, don't freaking touch me. You know, you don't have to touch me. There's no need. I'm leaving. I don't want any trouble. I just want to go. He says, you don't listen. So I grabbed his finger and I pushed him back. I say, hey. And then the other guy jumped over him and he stabbed his finger in my eye. I go, guys, what the heck is going on? I don't want to fight. And then he stabbed in my other eye. Yeah, and then I see it go, you know. So I immediately knocked him out.
The red, and then they learned not to fuck with Bas Rutten.
Oh, dude, I went to town there. It was crazy. But it was scary too. You know, now it's all cool and nice and dandy. But you know, with the microphones, they called 3 other guys in. I'm fighting against 5 guys. All the stairs going down. You know, and every guy that you drop, because I dropped them all, but they wake back up, and now they're more pissed. You know, so. Yeah, it's all now it's okay, but it was a scary moment at that time because I go, eventually I'm going to run out of gas, right? I mean, I'm feeling good and I'm just going, and then I remember, I go, oh shit, it's a fire escape. There's got to be a door downstairs. So I start going faster downstairs, and I remember it was one of these copper clips that you have to push in and open the door, and it was locked. And I turn around, and now they're all 5 there. And they had a smirk on their face. And that's when I decided, okay, now I'm going to stab the eyes. I'm going to go for the throats. Because before that, I was still fighting according to the rules. Because yeah, there's this thing in you that you go, like, for instance, I told this on Joe Rogan. It was like I fell against the wall, and there was inside the wall, there was like a little fence before it. And there were broomsticks. Why would there be broomsticks? Just broomsticks. And I grab a broomstick, and I pull it out, but right away I'm thinking, if I grab one, they're going to grab one. So I put it back. And then I will still remember the sound from them grabbing it out. I heard so they did grab the freaking broomstick. I should have kept mine as well, but I didn't. So now it's getting crazy. So I go, okay, now I got to go all the way. I'm going to make some people bite. And at the moment I thought that, I looked at them and they all stepped backwards. And I go, okay, they can see I mean business. But it wasn't at all. I felt already big for like 2 seconds because behind me was the whole police force. The police force was outside. There were windows. And that's why they stepped back. They weren't afraid. Yeah. They were just, but yeah, like
your piece, it looked like your piece was they don't get arrested.
Oh, dude. And then it's 5 against 1. And one of them was a cop, an off-duty cop. So now I'm in jail there. And then they transformed me 2 days in a normal jail. Then I went to a regular jail with the freaking murderers. There's like heavy people there in a mountain. People are not going to believe it, but you can Google this. They literally drive into a mountain. The mountain stops. It's like a movie. And then you get out of your car with your handcuffs. You go into an elevator. It's like 3 elevators. You go 3 stories up. You take another elevator. 1 story down. Take another elevator. 4 stories up. I go, shit, where am I going? But then thankfully, the guards were all fans. So once they put me in my room, they came, they brought coffee, tea, and I said, listen, nobody let me make a phone call. My wife, she's moving at the moment. My wife is moving from a house to an apartment. We're moving, and I'm not picking up the call. And a funny thing, and my wife hated when I say this, but I thought it was hilarious. Before I went into the bar, I was laughing, and because I was drunk, and I was telling, my wife says, why are you laughing? Because I'm talking to her on the phone. I said, no, I'm just having a great time. I'm a little drunk. And she goes, no, you're laughing because you have 2 Swedish blonde girls, don't you? I go, don't worry, honey. Alcohol is my number 1 priority right now. So 2.5 days later, they allowed me to make a phone call. The guard gave me his phone, and he says, call on my phone. So I called her, and she's, of course, freaking out. And I go, whoa, just don't doubt. I don't have a lot of time. She got some bad and some good news. What do you want to hear first? And she goes, the good news. And I go, I did have sex with 2 Swedish girls. She saw the bad news. I said, I'm in jail. And she goes, you think that's funny? I go, yeah, it's pretty funny. So, yeah, thankfully, I had some good friends there, Omar. And he went to talk to the people there, the bouncers, and they took the charges back. And they allowed me they released me from prison, thankfully. So, yeah. So, like I said, now it's all sounds cool. But at that moment, because what happened was, the lawyer comes and he says, I say, listen, dude, I didn't do anything. Yeah, but they said you did. Yeah, but I didn't. Yeah, but there's their word against your word. I said, so what am I looking at? He says, 6-9 months. I go, what, jail? Yeah. I said, he says, boss, you knocked out a cop. I said, he didn't tell me he wasn't coming. Well, he attacked me. If you attack me, I'll knock you out, you know?
Drop me.
So now I'm going like, shit, am I going to be here 6 or 9 months? This is a Saturday. And then later on, this famous, one of those bouncers, he broke. He was on a TV show, and I got calls from Sweden, and he was crying on the show, and he had so much regret of the things that he did. Not me, but he put people, their word, against like famous actresses and actors, like years in jail for no reason. You know, so yeah, it was not good. The only good thing that came out of it, this is so crazy, is that the article that came out in the Swedish Post, or whatever they call the newspaper over there, had a picture of my self-defense DVD, the cover of my self-defense DVD, the bar fighting one. And then next to it was the story, and the story said they were talking to the head bouncer, saying we were happy the police came because we could not handle this guy. So my sales went up right away. It was almost information. That was the only good thing that came out of it. But for the rest, it was a scary ordeal, let me tell you that.
Well, at least you benefited in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
I wanted to take you to, I guess, more recent events. Obviously, the Smashing Machine is on the way out. I believe it might be out somewhere in the world. For me in Ireland, it's not out here yet. But you know, obviously, you play yourself in the movie, which I'm sure is very surreal, and you're recreating events that you've lived through. How did that feel? And kind of tell me a little bit about it.
I got to tell you, it was way more easy than I thought it was, and the reason was that Dwayne DJ was scared. He was scared from the moment I saw him, and I've been telling this in interviews. He grabbed me. We always been in contact through social media, but I never met him personally. And he grabbed me and he gave me a big kiss on my head, and then I realized right away that's what Kerr used to do. You know, so he was already, and the way he was walking and standing and talking and his facial expressions, and I go, oh my God, it's good. We saw 4 weeks ago, we saw it for the first time, my family and me, because they hired a movie theater here for us where we could watch it. It was only family allowed. And my wife sits next to me. She goes, oh my God. I go, what? She goes, it's him. He's scared. I go, right? It's the way he speaks. Dude, I stole a poster because I got I asked for it. I did a screening in San Antonio last week with a lot of fans were there. UFC's people were there as well because the UFC was going on. I'm grabbing it here because I just put it in my man cave because I took that thing. I said, somebody going to take it? My daughter brought it.
Yeah, you're going to protect that for life.
But then you can see literally on the poster, if I look at the poster now, it's good. And watch how he stands and how everything. Let me see this. Oh, I can't.
Yeah, I saw that shot. It's so cool.
Straight up standing, that was him in his fight stance. I always told him to lean over, but he didn't. But his facial expression and the way he holds his hands, you know, all these little tiny things. And then I saw it in San Antonio. I saw it on the IMAX. And then that really freaked me out. I literally left him a message. I go like, because he cries in the movie, he laughs in the movie, and everything he does, because I haven't seen him cry in real life, but I've seen him laugh in real life, but the way he cries, it's Kerr. The way he laughs, it's Kerr. You know, it's just like, it's, yeah, really amazing. I would, you know, and I can't, because I'm biased, of course, people say, but yeah, there's high hopes already for nominations. The movie already won Best Movie in Venice, right? The Silver Lion, Benny Safdie got that one. And Emily Blunt, well, it's freaking Emily Blunt, right? She's good in everything. And like in Oppenheimer, she was getting insane. But in this,
I watched all the trailers, and I must say, like, it's so amazing, and I can't wait. I'm such a cinema goer, and Ireland really is. We have like some of the biggest populations of cinema goers in the world, and I'm just really waiting for that movie to come out. I'm just going to be in the door right away because it looks really amazing. I love the depiction of it. I love that you're in it. I love that there's humor behind it, but then there's also the pain and struggle of being a fighter and every single aspect of that.
That's it. And listen, Ryan Bader, dude, you're going to be surprised. His freaking acting, man. I go like, Ryan, you might have a new career, buddy. You're really good. I mean, he was good. Alexander Usyk. He plays Igor Vovchanchyn. And there's a scene that you will see it. I don't want to give anything away. There's a scene when he meets with his management, and the way he is acting, so comfortable. So, I was amazed with him as well. I think everybody was in tune. But like I said, it was more easy because for me, it was literally as if I was just teaching Kerr. It was really was. It was really was. I get goosebumps on the set every time. So, yeah, amazing. That he's people going to see him from a whole different light now. I'll guarantee you that.
Sweet. And I guess I just want to bring it into then the state of MMA today, and obviously a legend of yourself, and then obviously very much still included in a lot of mixed martial arts, but also, taking on the odd training sessions with the Hafthors that are maybe going into the influencer boxing side, but also very tied to, karate combat and then UFC and whatnot. Like, you lived through the days of, no gloves, Pancrase. You've seen all the rules evolve. I think potentially the weight cutting has evolved since then. For you, like, what are the major things that you look for in like the from where it was before to where it is now? Like, what's the major changes that you point to?
Yeah, it would be, of course, the weight classes, the science, mixed martial arts became sports of itself. We at the time we fought, we were excelling in certain areas, and right now everybody's good everywhere, pretty much. Sure, they excel in maybe that guy is striking, and that we still have that, but they all know it. For me, what I really like to look at are fighters who are completely different, like we had Sakuraba, in Pride Fighting Championships, who moves different, does weird things in between, and this way he gets in the head of the Adesanya, and then freaking Alexander Pereira comes in, and the way he does his things, he's a different character, but my God, freaking scary good guy. The TJ Dillashaw, the footwork and the crazy movement, and guys who stand out, who do things different. I really enjoy watching those guys, and little things in interviews that they say, not really derogatory, but like things to just get inside the head of the opponent. I used to love to do that as well. And it's not like you don't need profanity, you don't need to. You need to say little tiny things. Are you good? Is he good? Yeah, he's really good. I just better in every area, but it's okay. And the way I say that, better in every area, I just kind of mumble it away, And I know that, what did he say? But I know my opponent, that's the only thing he hears.
It's conscious got it.
Yeah, and those little things, they tick him off. Once they tick him off, well, they start getting angry. And when his emotions get involved in fighting, it's a dangerous thing. Because now, I always tell this, instead of punching from here, poof, what you don't see coming, now you're angry, you start loading up. Now you start telegraphing, you see? So it's very important always to keep your emotions under control, that you don't start telegraphing. Let your emotions go at the moment you connect. That it doesn't really matter if you open up too much, all that bullcrap. Oh, but you have to make a hook from here. What is that going to do? What is this hook going to do? It travels this long, it's not going to do shit. Load it up. Yeah, but he sees it coming. Let's set it up in a cross. Keep him busy. Boom, full in the head. You got time enough to load up that hook. If you see Mike Tyson, sometimes his hooks are all the way here. Nobody's going to counter. And why is he not going to counter? Because it's fast and it's extremely powerful. And nobody's going to try to do this, because they know if they do this and the left hook lands, fight's going to be over. So if you go fast, hard, you don't have to worry about loading up too much. And sometimes loading up too much is also a setup. Right? My liver shots. Why do you let it all the time? Because I load them up here. If I'm sitting, this is where I load up my liver shot. And they go, why would you do that? That's bad technique. Yeah, but it's on purpose bad technique. Because if I load up my hook here and my liver shot here, you can tell what I'm going to do. But if I start both punches here and I give you a hook to the head, I keep you looking dead in the eye, and now the body shot comes, you think it's another headshot because I'm looking you dead in the eye. And now I trick you also with where I hold my hand. You see, those things are important. Like Mike Tyson used to have that spleen shot, and then he would load up and make it into an uppercut. Now, if I do a hook like this, and then I set up the uppercut like this, he knows. But if I load it both the same up, there's the body shot, and then I make the uppercut, it's almost identical. They can't detect what you're going to do. And especially if I keep looking at his spleen, I don't even look at his, I know where his head is. I don't have to look at his head. And once I connect, maybe I had a left hook, boom. And while I look him in the head, now the body shot comes again, you see? So you're constantly tricking your opponent. And I think it's a very important thing to do. So people spend so much time on all these technical things. Just fight, dude. That's like breathing. You have to nose breathe, 100%. You're 100% right. But I put you through a workout, within a minute and a half, you open your mouth. I'll guarantee you that. Well, maybe not David Goggins, but now we're talking uncommon, uncommon, right? I mean, that's a guy, that's his term, and that's what I really like about him. That's a different cat. But like regularly 99% of the people, you can open your mouth. As swimmers, you don't think they open their mouth? You really think they only breathe through their nose? Come on, man, don't be stupid. But, people are just, it's nose breathing. This guy says nose breathing, and they're nose breathing all the time. Yeah, but mountaineers, what do you think they do? They do buckle breathing. That's mouth and nose, because they need the freaking air, because they're high altitude. So, no, just breathe. And that's the same thing, just fight. As long as you keep aiming, keep your emotions under control, and then you have nice little setups that always work, that's pretty much fighting. Hit somebody really hard in the head. What happens? Defense goes up. There's your next target. And the other way around works perfect too. Hit him really hard to the body, really hard. Don't give him pad shots like you do in training, because then they don't respect it. But if I give a cross to the body as hard as I can, I'll put you in freaking defense, because if one lands, you got trouble. And I don't care about hitting on your arms. I just want you to feel how hard I hit. And once the arm goes down, I keep looking down, boom, there's my headshot. You see, it's a very simple, basic concept. If you live by certain rules and do it explosive, it pretty much always works. Listen, this is not to step a feather up my butt, but it's like till this day, I hold the highest striking accuracy in MMA, right? That's what the UFC, when they inducted me in the Hall of Fame, I didn't know, but I still have. And why is that? Because that's how I fight. Everybody can do
power and little subtle.
I don't throw jabs, I don't throw wasting things. I just now, if I would be fighting now again, I would, that's the bag Muay Thai system. I would start switching stances. I start throwing my hand out to the left, just boom, and then keep it with the right. I would start doing these things because I know it's effective. But it works for me, If it's not broke, why would you fix it? So that's what I just always did.
Yes, sir. And I guess I have two more questions, and then I want to play a little game with you as well. But my first question is, obviously you're still a fan of the sport. You're still watching a lot of the cards. Which fighters for you in today's era are must watch? Like let's say 2 or 3 fighters that they have a fight upcoming. You're definitely going to tune into that one, and that's the type of fighter you like watching.
Oh my God! Pretty much all the Marab, comes out by the freaking Pereira, Adesanya, Josh. Oh my God, Josh Bennett. I forgot his name now. Slips me. He's an upcoming fighter. He's doing really well. I was just talking about Kayla Harrison. Amanda Nunes, that's going to be a big fight. I so many fighters. Everybody, like I said, everybody who stands out. I like the guys, and everybody likes these guys who can knock people out, they can submit some people, and who can do it by all different kinds of punches. Not only one certain punch or one certain submission, but the guys who say, you give him a foot, book, there's the heel hook, if or the heel hook, toe hold, whatever it is, knee bar, that. And then in striking, the same thing. If a punch lands, whatever punch it is, because everything is hard, then they knock him out. And then the mind games, that's why with Adesanya, again, I always come back to that, the whole Pereira thing, when he did the rope-a-dope pretty much, right? He let him think, and then poof, suddenly the punch comes. That's cool stuff. Jorge, when he, Masvidal, when he practices the flying knee, the jumping knee, against Askren, and then you see Conor McGregor in the dressing room focusing on when he fights Jose Aldo, one of my favorite fighters, by the way, Jose Aldo, the stepping to the side and the cross, and then landing it right away. Stuff like that. I go, see, and that's what I always told people. They always tell you the knockout will come. Yes, okay, sometimes the knockout will come, but many times it's something I worked on before. I work on a distance, striking distance. I work on 3 combinations. I work 3 combinations in the clinch. Then there's also a big difference if the person has his back against the wall or not, because now he can't move. So now, for instance, if I give an uppercut hook cross, that makes no sense because he's too close. The cross will be too close. So if he's back against the wall, it needs to be another hook or an uppercut or an elbow, but not a cross punch. But if there's room behind him and he moves back on the hook to the cross hook, now, of course, the uppercut hook, he moves back. Now I got space for my cross. These little details I work on a lot and a lot and a lot. And if I can't create, if I give somebody an uppercut while he's standing against the wall, so he's not moving back, and I want to give him a cross now, I step back. I make a big step back, so that gives me space for my cross, because otherwise, it's an uppercut. It's not going to do anything. But if I move backwards, paf, and then you see little things like that make a gigantic difference in fighting, because the longer a strike travels, the more power it can get, right? That's so you always want to connect at the very end of your punch, not the very end, but like I would say 3 inches before, 2 inches before, because that's where it has the most power. So if you're constantly focusing on that, that's what I tell when I talk to people or classes. If I shadow box, that's the only thing I'm focusing on. I'm coming out with a smashing workout, right? It's going to be on Team Builder. It's a platform, and I'm telling you this workout because once I started it, at the very end, I started cutting. It's my audio workouts that I always did, what big guys use. I mean, freaking Conor McGregor has been writing about it. A whole post about the audio workouts that we had. We have professional fighters, a lot of these guys are using that workout. Well, that has about 15 combinations. This new one has 126. It's the most insane freaking workout. If you're a beginner, and I told these people it's an 8-week course, repeat the first 2 weeks, repeat them 2 or 3 times. Make it an 11, 12-week course, because you're going to, and it's very basic stuff in the beginning, but then it starts. And once I get in your head and you get in my head and you see what we're doing, it's the Bang Muay Thai system also, the Bas Rutten Bang Muay Thai system, right? Inspired. It's going to be the same. The combination, even pros, if they're going to do this workout, they're going to go like, dude, I've never threw any combinations like that before. It was so crazy that I had to, the official last 2 weeks, I said, you know what, I'm not going to do that because it's going to be too much for a person who just starts. But I'm telling you, if people do what I say in that course, they're going to change in 8 weeks, and I would make it 12 weeks if you're a beginner. You're going to freaking dramatically change. And even the pro fighters, they're going to go like, dude, I never saw these combinations. And it's not like, oh, look at me, but I'm a thinker, man. I'm a thinker. It's once I go into striking, it's the only thing I think about how to set people up. And these are combinations that you go like, that's effective? Oh, it's very effective. And then you throw it, you go, shit. And that's the same that I had in submissions. I never had a coach. I learned myself. Yeah. But because of that, I had no restrictions. I could do whatever I wanted to do. Yeah, but the coach says do this. Yeah, but I'm not him. I don't need to listen to anybody. It works better for me if I do it like that. If you have a guy like BJ Penn call you in 2000, when I came out with my big DVDs of combat, maybe 2001, around that time, and I didn't know BJ personally at the time. And he gives me a call. And I go, hey, this is BJ. BJ who? BJ Penn. I go, yeah, right. Who's this? And he goes, no, it's BJ. And then I recognize his voice. I said, oh, Penn, dude. I said, I'm a big fan. He goes, yeah, me too. I said, wait, cool. He says, well, I'm just going for my run against Matt, UFC. What's his name?
Sarah, is it?
I don't know. Hughes, of course, the freaking strong, unbelievable guy. He says, but I want to talk to you about your DVDs, your submission game. Who was your teacher? I said, I had no teacher. He says, you taught you that yourself? Yeah. He goes, who taught you that hand control, what you do? I said, well, me, because I always, if you get me in an armbar, I escape because I don't control the hand. And he goes, dude, that's insane. That's really good. This could be the best instruction I've ever seen. This comes from BJ Penn. And this is to a guy who had 10 classes in his life, basic stuff. So if a guy like that says that, you did something good. But again, you went through my house. There's Post-its everywhere Post-its with combinations and leading to submissions and reversals into setup as a setup into a submission. I mean, I'm insane when I go about that because I see it grow and see it grow and see it grow, It's just what I enjoy a lot. That's why with fighting, with teaching, there's nothing you can say that I'm wrong with. And it's not because, because I simply break it down. And if you break it down, anybody who understands body types, well, they're going to have to say yes to it because I have an answer for everything. And if I don't, and you give me a better way, I'm actually going to mention your name everywhere because then I'm going to go your way, 100%. And then I will make you famous. I'll guarantee you that. So, but I challenge everybody.
Wait to get to work. Don't wait to get it. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get to work. I'll send you some videos of me getting the rhythm and flow down.
Dude, it's like every time 5 rounds of audio, and after every round I say, repeat this now. I would really repeat it because it's going
Get the
crazy.
fundamentals. Need to get them fundamentals now before you go further.
Boom, 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 boom. It's like reloads. It's all over the place. How to distract your opponent, and it's all audio. I do my workouts in a hotel room, and I do my workouts right here in my freaking man cave.
I've seen them. I've
Yeah.
seen them. So I have one more question for you, boss, and it's related. So for me, the UFC always is leveling up. You have the show in the Sphere, which was obviously a spectacle. Now we have another spectacle coming with the White House show. If you were, let's say, the matchmaker of UFC, boss, and we have an idea of who you enjoy, who would you like to see be the main event of the White House event? Obviously, there's word that John Jones was considered, but he can't be trusted. You have word then that Conor McGregor is going for the Irish president, but then, he withdraws now, and maybe he's going to come back for Michael Chandler again in that one. What would be Boss Rutten's pick for main event?
Oh, gee, yeah. For me, it was Aspinall Jones. I hope that John is going to go. Listen. If John commits, he commits. That's the guy he is, and especially the White House. This is a one-time deal. This is like it. Maybe it might never happen again. Hopefully, we get another president later on who loves fighting as well and can do it again. But this is the very first time. You make history. It's never been done, at the White House, and the whole world will notice. Everybody's going to watch. So knowing John Jones, and I hope he gets the money that he wants, and he does it because John, he is, in my eyes, he could be the best guy ever, right? I mean, the way if we could have a better control outside, and which is also 100% understandable. People are so easy for people to judge and to point fingers, like with Conor McGregor and all these things. Yeah, give me at 28 or 30 years old freaking $100 million. See what happens to me. Well, I would have went. I know, because I was crazy at the time. It's very hard to keep a straight life and to do everything perfect. It's good to go close to God, and start living by those principles. If you do that, that's going to help you at least a lot. That's what it did to me the last 15 years now, because I was still crazy, and that cleaned me up. Finding out that the real man is in control of everything. So he's not. If you play video games all day long, you're not in control of it. You can't stop it. If food, drinks, drugs, whatever your vice is, if you can't control it, it's controlling you. Meaning you're a slave to that. That's it. Whatever it is, women can be anything. So in my eyes, that if I'm controlled, if I'm a slave, now that and I decided I'm one. That's a weak man. That's what they call pusillanimous.
Yeah,
that's why I call
take a
people
step back from it.
Yeah, you lack courage, and you need discipline. And once you build in discipline, it's very hard in the beginning, to come back from that. But guess what, man? The more you say no to certain vices, the stronger you get, and the easier it becomes for you to say no. And then you master that. Like, I don't drink, I don't smoke weed, I don't do kratom, I don't do anything, no sleeping pills, nothing, and it makes me feel like a maniac.
Healthy lifestyle.
You have to, at a certain time. But it took me a long time to learn that, Darren. That's why I will never judge anybody, because that's just the last 10, 15 years, and I'm 60. Come on, dude. I should have was 30, So, yeah, now I understand people a lot. Trust me, and you will never hear me judge. I don't do that.
So let me ask you then, your pick for the main event, John Jones, Tom Aspinall. How do you see that matchup? Who is your pick in that matchup if that matchup was to go ahead?
Yeah, that's a very hard one. That's a very hard question. John Jones will never lost. Yeah, I know he's got that much power, but Aspinall is so light on his feet and so fluid and so good with his punches. Jones never fought a guy like that, Gustafsson, that fight was a very close one. Some people thought Gustafsson won, and Aspinall as well. He might be better, and John is getting up there in age, but then again, the experience comes in as well. He's been fighting through.
Aspinall has a good ground game as well.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. This is it's not political, because I don't think anybody can give that answer. I think it's literally like 50-50. Whoever shows up the best at that night is going to win it. It would have helped if John would have kept more fighting, but then again, he already had this whole bunch of fights. And for me, I did a fight after 7 years, and I felt great. So I think it's all about how you train. We spar pretty hard.
So people come back as well after injuries. They fix up their injuries and then they go again.
Yeah. So, that's a hard one, Darren. I don't think
50-50 might flip it.
But yeah, because that's the thing. You're gonna have to flip a coin. That's literally it. Otherwise, there's no answer. And kind of, I'm good with that because you don't want to, and especially as a fighter, you don't want to pull one before the other one. I think it's always bad luck. You're superstitious. I say, no, it's bad luck to be superstitious. That's the funny one.
It's like my grandfather used to tell it. He used to say, I have multiple personalities and I don't like either of them.
Yeah, I love that stuff. But yeah, man, line everybody up. I mean, comes out has to fight. Just every champion, I believe, needs to have a fight there. That's what I think.
Yeah.
When is the fight Nunes? When is that comeback fight against Kayla?
Come on. I actually don't know.
Because that could be a White House.
I'm excited to see it, though.
That could be a White House.
That could be a White House.
When it's going to be? And what is the date for the White House?
Date yet? Dana, they haven't set a date. Dana said that he visited it recently and said that they can fit, I think, 1,500 on the venue, and then they're going to do a big TV screen outside in the park with 5-6K people.
Good. Tailgating. It's going to be fun. Oh, man. It's going to be a lot of tailgaters.
All right, Bas.
Yeah.
I really appreciate your time. And I just want to finish up with a quick word association game. So essentially, I'll throw out a word and you tell me the first fighter that comes to mind. You can keep it short. It doesn't have to. If you have a story to tell or maybe an opinion on it, feel free. But let's keep it short and sweet because I don't want to take too much of your time. Let me know when you're ready.
Yeah, you go.
All right. First one should be easy for you, boss. Liver shot.
I'm very proud that I brought that name to the United States. And I heard on Showtime a boxing commentator say liver shot, not left hook to the body, what the prior was, but liver shot. And I look at my wife again, look at that, because I came up with it, So I'm happy about that.
Okay. Nice. Head kick.
Mirko Cro Cop. That's the first thing I think about. And then I fight against, oh my God. Oh, okay, Mark Hunt. And Mark Hunt gets kicked in the head, full. I'm in the commentating booth. He takes a knee, gets up, keep going.
Nice.
Imagine fighting a Terminator like that. Kicked him full in the head from Mirko Cro Cop, who can really kick, and he just dropped on his knee, stood up, just kept on fighting. Wow. Yeah, that was true.
Mark was a beast.
Uh-huh.
I miss him. Okay, one more. Well, a few more, but Smash.
Yeah, the Smash workout. My boss was now the smashing machine, of course. And I also Khabib.
Nice.
And that's the first thing I think about, like to smash him, and which I also very much respect. As not only as a fighter, but I think he's a really great person as well.
Underrated.
Underrated. Knees. Because they're thrown the wrong way. They throw what fighters do, a lot of fighters do. The ones who don't do it, they win by it. But the most fighters throw knees in a fight like they do in training. And it's these little petty knees.
I'm going to hit myself for interrupting this, but I have to ask, what do you think of, I don't know if you saw Ordy or Reina de Ritter's knees. Have you seen him throwing knees?
That's great knees. He won a whole bunch of fights with it. So yeah. No. He's got great knees. But you see, that's the difference. There's Dakota Tcheva, the girl, who's the up-and-comer who drops more people with body shots than I do. And I mean, I love that one. Her knees, great. And also when she gives a knee, she doesn't go to the ball of the foot like all these people. You have to do it. No, she's right. because it's the same thing. If a knee goes to the head, of course, you're going to have to need a little extra space. You need to go in the ball of your foot. But you want to stay on your heel because the longer your knee travels, the more power it has. If I jump on the top of my heel, I give it less space to travel. So it's really smart. And when I see her doing these things, I go like, man, she has got great striking background. So, and that's why she's so effective in it as well.
3 more. Toughest.
Well, the first person that always comes up is like Frankie Edgar, that name. If I think about toughness and endurance and durability. Yeah, I love Frankie Edgar with that.
That's a good pick. That's a good pick. Knockout.
Knockout. Well,
Tough
just
one.
to say it doesn't matter if it's a body or a head. That will be my response, as long as it's a knockout.
Nice. And then submission.
Submission. When I think submission, I think Damian Maia. I always said that if I would have fought a really big guy in my time, great on the ground, I would have gone to Damian Maia for my camp. To roll with that freak. And of course,
I miss him too. People didn't enjoy his fights. I really enjoyed it because it brings a different strategy, different dynamic to a fight that people have to play around. And that's what I think is like. I like these people. Maybe they're not amazing everywhere, but they present a challenge in some area that you can have fun with matchmaking.
Yeah, and Damien is the guy who says, "I want to show people that I can still win with jiu-jitsu only." And he freaking does. So, yeah. And also a very good person. Yeah. But do you know the good person? I think we have a lot of those in MMA. It's so weird how the people perceive us from the outside. And if you meet, because everybody who meets me, they also go like, oh my God, it's like in Japan you will be in a subway and like old people, I'm talking 75 years old, 80 years old, they ask you if you're a fighter and then they stand with you and they ask everything. They're so mesmerized and and they know, it's the warrior there and they know the respect among each other. And here it's like, oh, it's barbarians, probably the fans are barbarians, it's a whole different rap. You see all the violence in the street when something happens. They go, "Well, weren't you talking about that we were violent?" It's weird how that is. Boxing people are violent. Because it's fighting, but it's as old as everything else.
I just got a flashback to your scenes in Grand Theft Auto. That just gave me when you talk violence and the association with violence to the public perception. Grand Theft Auto came to mind.
That was one of my best works, I think. Because when I saw it later on, I was psychotic. That's so crazy. I had to send the people out there because they were messing up my takes the whole time. Because I would have like half scripts and I would start a sentence and in the middle of the sentence I would restart it as a new sentence so it would sound really psychotic. The things that I would say made no sense. Like challenging, who wants a knife fight with me in the audience? Who says that? Like knife fight with me in the audience. So, I really enjoyed doing that. That was good. Grand Theft Auto, man. Gus the Grenade. He was one of...
Vass, I won't take any more of your time. It's been an absolute pleasure and a blast. Thank you for your time, your stories, your insights. Of course, as always, your humor.
That's it. And guys, just throwing it out there, if you want more endurance, and all the big guys are doing it, I can't mention the names, get the Auto Trainer. Check it out, see what it is. Get like 20-30%. Like if you breathe incorrect, it will enhance like such a maniac. It's the most crazy thing ever. So O2 Trainer, it's a good thing. Oh, thank you.